And
How you doing, people?
here we go. How we doing?
It's been a really long time.
Happy December 1st.
I don't know if you could see it, but we've gotten some new equipment, and it's a little bit better than it was. It's also going to let us kind of do a few things in terms of if we want to have, YouTube videos up to show you something. We're also going to be doing a few different types of shows. We're going to be doing one our normal political shows because you seem to like that. If you don't tell us, and we'll stop doing it. But we'll do our normal political news type of thing. But we're also going to do something on nostalgic TV. There's a couple of TV shows that really nowadays people haven't seen, and they're amazing shows.
Good, heartwarming shows.
Yeah.
I will cheer you up now with everything going on out there.
Not a sexual innuendo, nothing like that.
Nope.
You're absolutely going to love these shows.
Good, home, clean home.
And we're also going to take a look at like cult movies along the line of like Spinal Tap and stuff like that, and see if we can work it out. Eventually, I'd like to try to get something that's called like a member-only type of thing. And the reason I want to do that is because it gives me a lot more slack as far as the copyright laws go. And we can actually like watch things together and so forth. So
yeah,
it's my dog. My dog is so cute. Anyway, so we're back. Basically is what I'm telling you.
You miss us? We missed you.
We missed you so much that I actually put a couple $100 into our equipment.
We got new equipment, yes.
All right, that's the truth. And that's why we were gone. The old equipment was
so you can see our handsome faces.
Yeah, it was just shitty. And anyway, the other thing is when Kerry's not here, see, Kerry doesn't live in Manhattan, he's South Queens. So when he's not here, we can actually do a remote show now. Because there's my other dog. My dogs are really cute.
Yeah,
anyway,
your passports come back.
Yeah, so, and it's also wintertime, so it's hard for me. Like during the summer, it was a little easier, but the winter, it's a little more difficult.
We ride our bikes, we ride every freaking day in the summer.
Yeah, now it's just, it's a different situation. So this will allow us to do it without stuttering and without like losing. Anyway.
It'll be a lot more fun because I'll be home doing even crazier shit.
Yeah, I have an Intel Celeron processor now, it's i7, so we're good to go. Anyway, so let's talk about some news. What's in the news, Kerry? You got anything you want to talk about?
Just the world's on fire.
Well, what I want to talk about immediately is this Hillcrest. I think it's Hillcrest, though. I hope I get it right. Hillcrest College, where these kids were running down the hallway going after a teacher or professor. I think it was a professor.
Yes, it just happened recently.
Now, when I first heard that, okay, the first thing I thought, I have to be honest, and I don't mean to sound sexist, but I thought, man, I have to be honest. There's a reason I'm saying this, and it'll come up later. But I thought, man, and the reason was when I saw the video of it, I saw maybe somewhere up around 100 kids running down a hallway, breaking stuff, shouting that they wanted this teacher fired, and that they were, I mean, literally, they look like the mob after Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, right.
And it's just really strange that we're at a point now where if you don't think like somebody else, they're looking to hurt you. I mean, that's just absurd. Different people think different ways. And you've got to accept that, whether you like it or not. That's not really a point. The point is,
I'm sorry, but just recently, you just brought that up, somebody's getting hurt. What about that kid just a couple weeks ago in Iowa? He was defending his friend, and they beat him to death.
I didn't even hear about that one.
Yeah, so white kid in Iowa, high school. They were picking on his friend, and he intervened, and they beat him to death.
Wow. But that's the problem. That's what the issue is today. See, somebody asked me, like, what could be done about, like, the Hamas situation. And I don't mean to make it sound simplistic, but it really and truthfully is. And I'm not against the Palestinian people, believe me, but I'm not against any people at all.
No, we're human.
But I will tell you this, you can't change the flavor of broccoli. And what I mean by that is it's ingrained in the genes. And in this case, it's not the genes, it's the hereditary factor of the family and telling stories and programming their kids a certain way.
Right.
And so the kids, have an automatic hatred towards certain people.
Americans and Jews.
Like at that point, you've got to find the sect that doesn't have that hatred and allows them to thrive. But the other one is always going to try to hurt you. And unfortunately, when it comes to being hurt, you're either, there's an old saying that says, has to go kill or be killed. And that's kind of what they're doing. I mean, right now, Israel was in a ceasefire. And in a ceasefire, everything was okay, right? You would think that.
Just yesterday.
Just yesterday, it turned around and went.
Two Hamas got out of the car, And
Just
open
open fire.
at a bus stop.
I mean,
Killed three. Well, now a fourth person just died.
and on top of that, they've actually, and this isn't my words, this is Hamas leaders' words. They will make October 7th happen again and again and again and again every chance they get.
And that's
Now
what they just did.
Now think about that. Why would Israel then turn around and go, oh, you know what? Okay, let's keep the ceasefire. So that the next October 7th that comes around, they're going to have to do it again. Again, I'm not against any people, but I can't be for people who aren't for other people, who want to just destroy other people,
Right.
you know?
You say that because you hit the nail on the head. You have to get to the root of it. And I just watched this morning. They were showing that they were training kids, 8 to 12 years old, Palestinian kids, to kill the Jews.
Yep. And so that's kind of my point. It's so ingrained in the
right, that every Palestinian
what's the word I'm looking for,
right.
in the culture, that it really needs to be handled from that point on. At some point, somebody's got to turn around and go, you know what, we've all just got to get along. It's just, and to tell you the truth, that's kind of what Trump was doing. Trump turned around to them and said, listen, you can have a life this way and be stuck in sand and hate your life and all this, or we can come together and create a good economy.
And he did.
And it was working. It was going great. It was going great.
As a matter of fact, Alan Dershowitz just spoke about that a couple of days ago. Because they were talking to him. That whole strip of Gaza in the last so many years has been peaceful.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah. The problem, see, what kept them peaceful was a rein on their finance. And so as long as their finances were under control and they didn't have the ability to attack, they could attack. Then once this fuel situation kicked in with Iran, they had the finances to attack. Now here's why that matters. And you go, oh well, you say that all the time. But here's why it matters. Because after a certain point of not having the money,
right,
things would have gotten better. Because at that point they would have had no choice but to acquiesce to the situation of peace. And that's what would have brought everything together and allowed people to actually get along. Necessity is...
Everybody was getting along back 4 years ago, 5 years ago, everybody was getting along over there.
Necessity is a huge appetizer. So when you have a necessity for somebody else's help, you'll look to them in a different fashion, a different light. Yeah, that's kind of... The other thing I wanted to talk about was this writer, this journalist. I'm going to use the term journalist very loosely. His name is Karen, Caron, something else, but it's a male. And there was a kid at
the Chiefs game.
Chiefs game
In Las Vegas.
Yeah, you take it.
The Chiefs are playing the Raiders in Las Vegas.
Right.
This kid's a Chiefs fan.
But he's not just a Chiefs fan. Understand this. His grandfather is on one of the high tribal tables of one of the
Native American
organizations.
Right.
You know, he actually is Native American. Understand that. And to top it off, so what the kid did was he had a Native headdress on, but not like when you would buy at Toys R Us or something like that. This was a traditional,
this is a real
beautiful.
One. Yeah.
I mean, it was gorgeous. I'm not kidding with you. It was absolutely amazing looking. And he was wearing it, and he wasn't wearing it in a goofy way. He had his face painted. And so the way the journalist, and again I use quotes for the journalist, the way the journalist took the picture, he only took one side. He only took the black side. So meanwhile, if you looked at the kid head on, half of his face was red, half was black. If you looked at him from one side, it looked like he was in blackface. And that's what this guy tried to push, is that this kid was in blackface.
That his parents are racist.
And that he was trying to appropriate Native American culture. The kid is Native American. Okay, his grandfather's, again, a high tribal chief on one of these high tables. Okay, the other thing is he didn't have blackface on, he had black with red, which was actually also his school's colors, which was another thing that was kind of left out.
And back in the day, that's the Chiefs. Everybody had that.
And if you watch the game, you can actually see the African American NFL players doing the chopping motion with him.
They're doing the
with him. Right. While he's doing it, they're looking at him with him.
And this is in Las Vegas.
But this was a gentleman who needed to create some sort of explosion somewhere. He needed to create animosity. He needed to create some sort of division, some sort of division. And because now here's my problem. Okay, so now I'm going to get into a little racism idea. The reason he did it was because he thought this kid was white. That's why he did it.
Yes.
That's being left out. Okay, that's
Mhm.
being left out.
Right.
And the fact is that this kid wasn't white, which put egg on his face. But in his mind, he believed
Right.
as long as this kid was white, it was okay to say anything he wanted about them. Anything. It did not matter.
Kid's
You know-
only 5 years old.
You know, I watch TV. I really watch more podcasts and stuff like that than I do actual TV. But every night I watch TV or even on a podcast, this will show up and it says, Israel, Jewish hate is up 388%. So is African American. So is this. Let me tell you something, okay? White hate doesn't have to go up anymore because everybody hates white people.
Yep.
All right?
Mhm.
And I'm not
Mhm.
saying everybody collectively,
You know, it's funny
but
you
I'm
say
saying
that. You don't
every
see that on
race,
a commercial.
nation, culture that
Mhm.
isn't Caucasian
Right.
hates white people to
That's
some
right.
degree, okay? And there's some people that are perfectly fine, okay? They're absolutely perfectly fine,
Mhm.
that, just get along. But for the most part, the hate is honestly towards white people. The reason they don't like Jewish people is because they
They're white.
border on white. That's
Right.
what it comes down to also. Because to tell you the truth, there's only like 2.3 million of them worldwide. So how bad could they honestly be? Give it a break, okay? As far as like, let's go through the list. Let's go through the list.
Right.
So Chinese hate is up. That comes from African American mostly. That's not that you can look it up. You can look up my statistics. I can't give you the exact numbers off the top of my head,
Right.
but I know I'm right.
Right.
Majority of your Chinese attacks or Asian,
All
I'm not
from
going
the
to
African
Asian
American.
are from the African American community. The majority of your African American attacks are by that I mean attacks on African Americans are from your African American communities. The majority of stop and like people that get shot at in cars, after this, I'm talking about by police shootings in cars are white people, not black people. You've been literally conditioned to believe this stuff because it's told to you. You go, oh well, they told it to me, so it must be true.
Right.
Do some research.
Right.
Majority of what you're talking about is
There's plenty of them out there.
individual sections that hate other individual sections.
Mhm.
Okay. But when it comes down to collectively speaking, all of those little individual sections hate white people. Check it out. I'm not making it up. I'm white. I can tell you. I can tell you like how I feel when I walk into places. I hear about how everybody else feels when this happens to them.
Mhm.
You have no idea how we feel. Okay, you have no idea.
I'm under it right now.
And the truth of the matter is,
Right. I'm under attack.
for the most part, okay, white. I'm not saying there's no white racists because there obviously are. There's racists in
Everybody.
and that's another thing. Anyone tells you, oh, we can't be racist, is racist. Okay, it's racist. Because what you're already saying is that there's a difference.
Mhm.
And if you're saying there's a difference, then you believe that one is better than the other. It's just the way, then you're racist. You don't like one because of the other.
Right.
So racism is a really weird word. First off, let's go very basic. I'm going to tell you, you have the right to hate anyone you want for any reason you want. What you don't have is the right to act upon it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can look at somebody and go, I hate people with big noses.
So what do you want them to do?
But you can't
Right.
act upon it. You can't stop someone with a big nose from coming to work, from coming to work for you, or
Yeah, really?
you can't do that. You're allowed personal preference. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm not by nothing wrong with that. I mean, maybe you want to look into some therapy or something like that. But I'm saying, as far as legally goes, it's not illegal to hate somebody for their skin color, but you can't act upon it. That's the difference. You can't turn around and treat somebody differently because they're a different color, or because they're this, or because they're that. Okay, and
It's happening out there to the white people because even we get.
Oh my gosh!
Listen, you try to go for a job.
Right.
Go for a job.
Well,
you're not getting hired. Another person's
name me
getting hired.
one white male who could have been your vice president. Name me one white male that could have been. None, because what did he say? I'm only hiring a woman of color. So no white man could have gotten that job. Do you realize that in itself
is a racist
is a workplace no-no? That you're putting a gender and a race as a requirement for a job.
Yo,
think about that.
He put a judge in there that can't define a woman. Why? Because she's African.
He's got a press secretary who reads to you as if you were a child in the library during reading time. The reason that is because he wants you to be a child and just listen. Don't question, just listen.
Just listen. You do what he says, and that's it. And also, did you see what Joe did?
What?
The Bidens did
What?
with the White House, the Christmas decorations.
Oh, with these stockings? Yeah. Okay, so this is a great one. So last year we did a show.
Right.
We did a show, and it's funny because it really, that's very good, Kevin.
Oh, his seventh child. His
So
seventh
we did a show
grandchild.
about him not putting, that he even put a stocking up for the dog, but he didn't put up a stocking for the seventh grandchild that Hunter has with the stripper. I wouldn't even call her a stripper, I'm sorry, with the woman that Hunter had the affair with. Because I'm sure she's a nice woman, and it's really sad that she's even connected to this guy. But anyway, so this year, so over the year, 2 or 3 reporters actually got on his case about it, and kind of, I guess, made his the DNC, the Democratic National Campaign, his campaign. I couldn't think of the word campaign. Wow, not good. Made them realize that people are kind of seeing that, and we've got to give them a little bit less of an edge. So this year there's no stockings at all, none. Instead of just adding hers, because if he adds hers, it's kind of like he's giving in,
Right.
So
now they have no stock.
so now it's nothing, yeah.
None of the grandchildren.
Yeah, it's just it's
Good man, huh?
what a great guy.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
What a great guy. And not even that. How about his wife? Huh? You think as a woman you think grandmother?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, to tell you, he wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for her. He wanted to be president up until about 10 years ago. And then he kind of gave up on the idea.
No.
And then she turned around, she goes, Joe, listen, in her mind, she's like, listen, I'm only with this guy because I thought eventually he would make the president. I need to be first lady. And she pushed him in there. And she should have never done that because she made him look like a dolt. She made him look like an idiot.
Yeah, look at him. I can't walk, can't talk.
The guy got tackled by a sandbag. Come on. I mean, please.
No,
A toe clip on a bicycle took him down.
Stairs.
Stairs. Oh, my God.
That don't move.
Yeah, stairs. I mean, come on. Not once. Okay, you fall once. Not twice. No, okay, so maybe you tripped twice.
3,
3
4.
freaking times and then down to the knees. Come on. Are you insane with this
In
guy?
the same day.
Yeah, that's just absurd. Did you guys get to see the migrants on top of the train? That's another one. There's a huge train coming here with each train car has probably 30 migrants on or something. There's 15 train cars or something. And they're just riding on top of the train car like it's okay. Like it's nothing.
And they talk to people. You know what they say? Buy and let us in.
Yep. And you know where they're coming? New York. Welcome.
And this man, you can't even take care of shit here. He's under investigation for corruption.
See, what I really have an issue with.
See, people, wake the fuck up. That's what I like to say.
What I really have an issue with is we've always had homeless people. And no one ever went this fast and this hard to try to help them.
Now, we're 60, I'm 62, Rob. Like you said, we had homeless people. I used to step over them in the fucking subways, right? You step over them. Now, they can do this real fast, huh? Okay.
I mean, you turn around 1 minute, there's tents up on Randall's Island, there's tents at Ebbets Field, there's tents here.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do this for the homeless people? I don't understand. I don't understand. And then after these immigrants turn around and say, well, we don't want to go to these places, you know what they do? They take them down. Why? You still have the homeless people. Why you take them down? It's just the dumbest things that.
That's your city for you.
It's the same thing with this wall now. All of a sudden, Joe's putting up a wall. Meanwhile, when he first got in, the first thing he did was took down the wall.
Right. No, people, just get out there. 24 is coming. Okay? You got to wake up out there. Look at the governor we have here. Look at the mayor we have here. He's under investigation.
Here's a little
Our city
riddle for you.
Our city wants a pie, and that's a good pie.
Here's a riddle. Wait, here's a riddle for you. If you guys answer this, you know what? I would love to come up with a prize to give you guys for this. I wish I could think of something. You want one of my dogs? Anyway, what could I give for a prize? Oh, you know what we'll give? You know what we'll do? I tell you what. Okay, so my buddy here got me a bandana with a huge marijuana leaf on it. Okay, I got it over there. He can grab me another one. Okay, we'll show it to you in the next episode because I didn't pull it out. I'm gonna pull it out. But if you guys get the answer to this, you got to give me the full answer. You got to give me not only what they have in common, but the years they would have had but how do I do that? Give me as much information as you can. Okay, so here's the riddle. What does Donald Trump and Grover Cleveland have in common? What will they have in common? What will Donald Trump and Grover Cleveland have in common? And that's a great one for you. Anyway, see if you can figure that out. Anyway, okay, so what else are we talking about here? Do we have anything else?
It's pretty much with all that crime in New York. I mean, you see what's going on with the looting? How these people are walking. I mean, they gotta lock up toilet paper now.
Isn't that funny?
They gotta lock up. There was something else they had to lock up.
We're locking up all the items, but not the people who are taking them.
Right.
It's so stupid.
They just showed it on the news just a little while ago in Philadelphia. Like you were going in, walking with your family, going Christmas shopping. They were walking into stores, walking out with TVs.
Yep.
Walking, not running.
Well, I was just
right, not running.
Right. They haven't, there's no reason, because if you stop them, if you work for the place, you're gonna get fired. This lady was working at and it's funny because I thought it was like California. It was actually New York, I think, like 42nd Street or 38th Street or something. She was working at like one of the Targets or one of them. And this lady came in 3 times, and all she did was shoplift all 3 times. So the first 2 times, lady did nothing. So the last time she went over by the door, the exit, and on the way out, the shoplifting lady had a bag like Santa Claus, the way Santa Claus would carry it, and she like turned and hit her with the bag, like really, but hit her hard. If you watch, it's definitely an assault. So the lady was assaulted. At that point, she became a victim. Okay, she was no longer a store employee. She was a victim. No different than if she'd been knifed or shot or anything else. She's a victim. So she goes out. She follows the lady. Turns out the lady drove there in a car. She took a picture of the license plate. They still fired her. They said she got involved in a shoplifting incident, and it's against their protocol. But meanwhile,
she was assaulted.
So should she have just given up her assault and let this lady get away with that just to keep her job? I mean, it's just everything is so askew.
Everything is so backwards today.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's
everything is backwards, people.
I don't know.
It's all backwards. I mean, the criminals are taking over. Is that the way it's supposed to be?
It's ridiculous.
And if everybody's close to our age, growing up, you know these things, man. You know there's laws.
Yeah.
You know that this is not right. But yet, people like yourselves, I'm not saying anybody, I don't know you, but you vote for these people because, like my brother just said, they brainwash you.
Yeah, and then they also just ousted.
They brainwash you.
They also just ousted Santos.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, thank God. I'm again, I'm an independent, and I tend to lean Republican.
And this guy's a Republican, but guess what?
I tend to lean Republican, but
he deserves what he got.
I mean, he lied about everything, literally.
See?
He lied about so much that they couldn't even figure out what his background was.
He lied like Joe lied. He told he lies like Joe Biden, like, well, I went to this school. No, you didn't. You weren't here. No, you didn't.
I don't think Joe. Now, see, that's the whole thing at this point. I think when Joe was younger, Joe was a serious liar. He was a plagiarist. Joe had to give up the presidency at one point because he plagiarized the speech. But I don't think, like when he was younger, I think he was a liar. I think now he just really believes things happen.
Yeah.
I think he's just at such a dementia point
right.
that he really believes the stuff he said in the past because he said it. It's like I heard it, so it must be true.
One thing I got to agree with Santos, though. Like you said, hey, listen, he deserved what he got, right? See, we're fair people. But like that Bowman should get the same.
Right, absolutely.
And that Talib.
Yep.
They all should get the same what he got. Because they get up there, they lie. He should be in jail for pulling the fire alarm. Because if that was you or me that pulled the fire. Listen, I work in a building. If any of my co-workers are watching it right now,
you'd be looking at 5 years. You'd be looking at 5 years.
Yeah, pull the fire alarm.
You'd be looking at 5 years because
kiss your family goodbye after pulling the fire alarm.
First endangerment would be a huge freaking charge because depending on how many people were there, because you'd be endangering all of those people.
Right, you got hundreds of people in the building, maybe.
So each charge of endangerment, you'd be looking at a year or two. You just can't get away with that. And if you watch it, he definitely knows what he's doing.
So he took the signs off the window.
It even goes beyond that with him.
And not even that. If anybody, please, common sense. You know what a fire thing looks like compared to a door pusher?
As far as like
to push the door.
Right. It's like that bar. It's a bar. You get it. The fire alarm you got to pull. The one you got to push. You don't pull the door to push it. It's just not.
Right. Listen,
anyway,
we go to the studio, which we're going later.
I'm just thinking about that.
And when you go in, you have to push. the panel.
Yep.
Not pull the fire alarm.
Yep. That's
Right?
a good joint, man. Wow.
No,
Anyway,
no, it's not that.
no,
What
well,
are we talking about?
yeah. What else can I tell you? So let's see. Who else was it? Who else?
No, we got some serious shit out there, man.
Wow.
Oh, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
The city. Now, all right, we're going into winter, which sucks, but we're going into winter. Now, just in my neighborhood alone, they started to put those city bike things up. Who's
Yeah.
gonna fucking ride in the winter now?
Yeah. Well, the other, you know,
And you know what they did? I'm sorry, you know, people are protesting over there because they did it in front of a building. People lost 6 parking spaces.
Yep. That's the other thing I don't understand about it is why they're in the street.
Right.
Like,
Right.
see, if you don't live in Manhattan, you don't really understand this. But we have trees on the sidewalks, and in between each tree is probably about 15, 20 feet.
Yeah. Put it.
They should be in between there because you can't walk through the trees. So in other words, in reality, a 12-foot or a 15-foot sidewalk only has 10 foot of walking space. Then there's a tree, and then the curb. So in between there is wasted space. So that's where you should put them,
right.
because nobody can walk there anyway. Instead, they put them right off the curb, and like we have that. Sure, take time. So we have them like right off the sidewalk, right in front of my building. They take up, I'll say 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 10 spots, And it's stupid because, you know, my building is a high-rise building with 3 buildings connected.
Yeah.
One's a 17-story, one's a 17-story, and one's a 42-story. You know, so we're talking about literally 76 stories of people, and you're taking away 10 spots. Nah, I don't know. That's my issue with the bike lanes too.
Yeah, because they're taking. Well, you remember my mother's building? You know my mother's building,
Yeah.
right? My mother lived on the first floor, like right there. You can walk right up to the window. And, okay, I'll tell you.
Well, I did hard.
About a year ago, just
I
last
need
summer,
something to drink.
they put the bike lane right
Wow.
in front of her, right there in front of the people's window. One lady I know there, she's been there for years. She's my mother. I see her. She was literally complaining. And you know what? She can't do anything about it.
No.
Because that's what they're doing.
Just
It's
not-
right in front. She says she hears somebody come at midnight, slam the fucking thing in. You know how they gotta slam it in?
Yep. Bang! I know,
Right,
I know,
there you
yeah,
go.
I know.
Hmm.
I know. Wow.
But they taking up a lot of parking spaces that people are pissed now. Oh, speaking of parking spaces, if anybody out there knows this, which I'm not sure, but maybe, you know this too.
Thank
You
you.
know this. Because I'm in Queens, so where you park, you're same thing here, man. Years ago, does the city street belong to the public?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what people do in my neighborhood?
What?
You're gonna fucking laugh, man. They got cones. They put in the
Oh
street
yeah.
to block for them.
Yeah.
No, that's a street. That means if I had a car and I wanted to park it there, I could park it there.
Right.
But some guy came out one time because I rented a car. It was 2 years ago. No lie. And I did this on purpose. I just wanted to say. And I just sat there and I went to move the car. And the guy comes out. I said, "Jesus, but you don't own the street. You live here." He goes, "Yeah, but that's my parking space." I said, "Where's your name?"
Show me the receipt.
I just
for
wanted to
payment.
bust his balls because it's like.
Show me the receipt.
So
for
he
payment.
goes, I said, "Listen, you can call, let's call the cops. I guarantee the law says you can't put cones here."
That's true.
But this is what people are doing.
But see, that's the problem because you get people that. In a nutshell,
This is what people are doing.
In a nutshell, what he just said
Holy
is the overall problem of the earth. I don't mean to say it like it, but everybody thinks they're entitled, and that's what the problem is. You're not entitled to anything.
No.
You earn it, and like a parking spot like that, you don't. That's something that you work to get. In other words, you drive around a block, until you get the parking. But you don't just turn around and say, because I live here, this is my spot.
And here's the news. Here's news flash.
That's no different than, I don't mean to say that.
No, they'll come out and fight you.
But I don't mean, I was just going to go there. I don't mean to trivialize the Israel-Gaza thing, but it's the same thing. One faction said, this is mine because I'm here.
Right.
And this is what happens.
And this is what happens.
Instead of saying, why don't we all just live together and see if we can work at and make all of our lives better?
Now, you know what? I'm going to tell you a little secret. This guy pulled up. He couldn't find a spot. He got out of his fucking truck. This big white guy, no lie. He moved the corner. The guy came out of the house. I thought there was going to be a fight. I watched the whole thing. You know what he said? He told the guy straight out, you don't own the fucking street. He threw the cones at the guy's house, right? He goes, you fuck with my car, I'm gonna fuck you. I mean, I heard the whole thing.
Yeah.
Over, and the guy's right, you can't put cones in the street. You don't own the street, you own the side.
Yeah, exactly. Property. Right. Right. And then,
But this is what they're doing in Queens, by me. Like, there's gonna be a fight one day.
but it's not just Queens. It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everything.
Everywhere.
Like that. It's you know, even in.
But I can't believe that, man.
I could take it to. I could go you one better and tell you that.
I mean, we grew up
Okay,
in Manhattan, you
so-
know if somebody did that, Paul is getting out of the
No,
car,
but
knocking the shit out.
I'm gonna be a real with you, right? Wait, hold on, because I gotta get to be a real with you right now. So we'll go to the studio tonight. So I had to make some food. Oh, somebody's calling me. I don't know that number. Anyway, so I had to make some food for my family before I leave. You know what I mean?
That's my airport.
Oh shit! You're dialing me? You're dialing me? So what I did was I figured the best thing I could do is I'll make them a stew because it's that kind of day out. It's kind of nasty.
Oh, by the
So,
way, it smells delicious.
yeah, so I got stew on out there right now. It looks phenomenal.
It smells
Anyway.
delicious.
I'll bring it in actually, maybe show you on the camera because you wouldn't believe I'm actually a really, really good cook. My grandmother taught me. But I'm gonna be a wuss right now. And I want you to know that I was as nice as could be. Understand what I'm saying here? So I had to go to Key Food to get what I needed for the stew. So I go to get online and I got like a bag, you know, like a cart full of groceries. I don't have a little bit, I have a lot. This lady comes out of nowhere. She goes, I was in front of you. She wasn't in front of me. She was over on another line and she got tired of waiting. That's what happened. So I look at her, she's got a couple of things. It's not a lot. I go, ma'am, it doesn't matter. Just go. It's perfectly okay. No, really, I was in front of you. Ma'am, I just told you go.
There you go.
This lady was being as obstinate with me as if I was arguing with her. She just could not get beyond the idea of being angry about something.
Right.
And like she gets in front of me, the lady behind me goes, what was wrong with her? So I said, she was here first. You know, it was like,
What are you gonna say?
she goes,
I had a guy do that
she goes,
time.
no, she wasn't. I said, I know that, you know that, but if that's what keeps her happy, let her go. You know what I mean? So she goes up. Now she's got a problem with the way the checker is packing her stuff. She's 4 freaking items. There's no way to pack it other than the way this lady's packing it. No, I want this on the top and I want that on the bottom. She probably cost me an extra 15 minutes of time that I didn't have to begin with.
Right, these are the people
Okay.
that have no lives.
Now I could have turned around and argued with this lady. I really could have. I
Wasn't
could have.
worth it.
I could have made a big
Right.
thing. I could have went the route of like, you know, she's all evil.
Oh,
But
sure.
why?
It wasn't worth it.
Why? You know, first off, like you say, well, you know, first I'm going to say, why not just let her be happy?
Right.
Obviously, complaining makes her happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she's living for. Because my grandmother gave me great advice when I was young. She said, shit's going to happen to you, and you ain't going to like most of it. She said, but how you handle is what shows your character. If you walk around angry, your character is very small. If you walk around happy, your character is very big.
Mm-hmm. Now you're gonna hear something funny. I go over to Jackson Heights. I'm in Queens, so I'm not too far.
Wow, that last toke really hurt my throat a little bit. It just got stuck in the wrong spot like a popcorn
You're
kernel.
talking about people that are not happy. I do a little Christmas shopping over there. So I walk along. Got my bike. I got my speaker with the music. Now, there's a music store. So yeah, so I was looking at it, but it's from the outside. So I put my bike, I got the music on. There's a guy standing over there. Not even like next to me, across over there. He says, excuse me, can you lower your music? I said, why? You know, nicely. And he goes, I'm on a phone. I said, but you're 10 feet away from me. Like, what the fuck? You're all the way over there. Like, he just had to say something. You know, like you said, they just have to say.
And like what he should have thought was,
Happy.
he should have thought, I'm out in public.
And I lowered it a
trying to
little.
help. Well, no, but
I
what?
was nice, but I stood right there. I didn't give a shit.
You don't have an important phone call, first off. So, first off, I don't think the phone call is important because you don't have an important phone
You're
call
outside.
in the middle of the street.
And it's
okay?
lunchtime. You might be
You
on your
pull over
lunch
to
break.
the side, you
Right.
go into a corner.
Right.
You do if it matters. Okay, this
This is the street. You're outside.
is just a moron who had
Right.
to have some
Mhm.
control over
Mhm.
something around him,
Mm-hmm.
and therein lies the entitlement.
Right.
He's entitled to control his environment.
And he's the type of guy that talks so loud that you can hear him across the street, but he wanted to be noticed. That's
Well, that's it. You know, and you're gonna hear about how his $1 million movie deals and
yeah.
this.
He just had to be noticed. That's
No, Joe, I'm not gonna pay that $30 million to you. You know, it's
These are the people that are miserable.
people just they live such crazy fake lives. I don't get it.
Now,
You know-
the people that we are, like Now listen, I went to the dentist the other day, right? Now the people were very nice. They took care of my son. I went back. You know what I bought them that morning? I had to go early in the morning.
Donuts.
I bought donuts.
Yeah.
Not Dunkin'.
No, I was
They
gonna
were
say,
they were like, wow, we never got this. You know why? Because nobody appreciated. I said, I appreciate what you did for my son and you did for me.
Right.
Because you took care of our teeth. You're helping. And you're very nice about it.
you
You're
should have
not
thought of though. It was the dentist that should have been fruit. It should not have been donuts. Donuts are like the worst thing for teeth. I want to tell you.
Well, I got the second one.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, the dentist, he's on his own. That way.
wow. They're probably giving it to the patients trying to get more calories.
A bakery donut. But the only thing is that this is the people that we are. We appreciate it. Then you get people like that who are just miserable freaking
No, you know what it is? We were taught that life is really short.
Yeah,
And that if you
life goes too fast.
if you want to walk around angry and not enjoy it, that's your business.
Mm-hmm.
My cat is so cool, man. This is Boogie. I think you guys met him before. This is my,
cat.
he's my Boogaloo. He's phenomenal. Yeah, he's also my ray gun. It's my ray
The
gun.
best cat. Man,
You know, anybody breaks in, I just load them, I lock them, and I aim them, and I love this guy. I really do. I found him in Brooklyn. It was like -3 degrees out, and I looked across the street. He was only about maybe 4 weeks old, and I looked across the street. He looked like a rabbit because I could only see the. Oh, you want to see something really cool? I don't know if you can see it really.
He's the coolest cat you'll ever meet.
On his back, he's got like Michael Jordan doing a layup in his. You can kind of see it here a little bit with the white. Anyway,
You said you get found at 3 degrees. Now,
Yeah.
What if people leave animals out in the street? I mean, they're not even people.
I think he was just feral, though. Honestly,
Really?
I think he was just wild. I think
I can't see people leaving animals. I mean,
Yeah,
look at this.
but
How
I will-
precious they are.
Yeah, I will tell you a story, and I feel really horrible. A buddy of mine
can't see it.
upstate got a cat, and it was like one of the most beautiful cats I've ever seen. Beautiful, black and white Maine Coon, and he let it out, and they kind of lost it. I felt really bad, but you have to understand, upstate is different than down here.
Yes.
They let like I couldn't let my animals out. I really couldn't do that, and but I understand that's the way they were taught to do it with animals. Animals supposed to be outside. I just couldn't do it. He got loose on me once. I was upstate, and I left the window open, and he jumped out. And this boy loves me so much. He's never leaving me. I'm his temptation. Anyway,
I love that.
yeah. Well, anyway, so he jumped out the window, and I have these bushes like right outside my window. And so I go crazy looking for him. And my other cat's you won't meet him. He's a nut job.
Pete.
Anyway,
I love that cat too, though. He's a nut.
He's cute. But I go running looking for him. I see my other cat. He's fine. I go outside and I look in the bushes, and there's 2 eyes just looking out in between like the leaves, looking at me. And he goes, "Man," as much as to say, "I'm lost, man. Take me home."
Yeah, I'm stuck in the bush here.
Yeah. But he's real funny because when we go upstate, he turns into a hunter. He fluffs up, and everything is like quick touches and slapping the wall and trying to climb it and stuff.
Because they got good smell too.
He's a good kitty. He really is. I got to be honest. I love this boy right here. I love this boy. Anyway, but yeah,
pets are the best.
Yeah, I don't think he would have lived another day. This guy, because he was on his way, and so I took him. I threw him in my jacket. And for years, I don't have the jacket anymore, but for years, if that jacket was out, he would just go lay in it. He's old now. He's probably about 13. Give or take about 13. Yeah. It's a shame, but he looks good for his age, I guess.
But he survived out there in the cold, man.
Yeah.
Freezing those winters we had in the past.
Oh, my pal, I just got kicked.
Not like some of the winters now, man. We get 50, 40s. Winters we were growing up with, right? Everybody should remember those winters.
You want to see my Jada?
Oh, excuse me.
You want to see my Jada? I'll show you. Hang on, I'll show you Jada. I just got to hang on. Carry out keeping me off camera. There's my Jada. How beautiful is she? She's an Australian Shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's Kerry. That's my friend.
This is my friend.
That's my
We had
pal.
another friend.
That's my pal.
We had another friend, but he ran off to be a mime. Haven't heard from him since.
Definitely doesn't keep in touch.
Haven't heard
You get
from
it,
him
no touch. Oh my God.
That's why it's good.
That was me.
Oh, that's so funny.
I'm back. Yeah, but the world is just insane.
It is.
It's just insane. The good thing is that
The city's bad too, though, like you just said.
oh, Adams is. I don't know. Did you hear something? I don't know. I didn't
No,
hear
yeah,
about
this guy
this.
got to go. You guys got to.
I know about. Well, but wait. I know about the campaign fund fraud from Turkey. Like the country Turkey turned around and
Do we have a consulate here?
tried. Yeah, tried to get him to influence. I don't know what the influence was. I don't really care too much about him, to be honest with you. So I just kind of skim by him. This is one of those headline things where it doesn't matter because New York is such a Democrat city that Democrats can do out. De Blasio got away with how much money? You know what I mean? And no one's even questioning it.
1.6 billion.
Yeah. So I mean, Eric Adams getting away with a couple of thousand is going to be a breeze. So I ain't paying attention to
Andrew
it.
Cuomo got away with killing the elderly
Yeah,
people with
you know,
COVID.
if you're a Democrat in New York City,
It's a shame.
you'll get away with anything.
It's a shame.
If you're a Republican, don't cross against the light. Okay, that's kind of what it comes
Don't even
down to.
jaywalk.
Yeah, don't cross against. Don't rip the tag off your mattress. Okay?
Or your T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Right?
it's like
Tag on the back of your
it's crazy.
T-shirt.
So, but it's true. Like if you're a Democrat, you get it. So I don't really pay that much attention to Adams. I didn't like him from the beginning.
You know why?
I
'Cause
was.
you're going to hear something down the line too. Hope was involved in something. Why?
Oh, absolutely. But I was a Sliwa guy. Okay, I wanted Sliwa, not because I think he would have been the best guy for the job, but he would have been better than the choices we had.
Right.
Okay.
Definitely would take care of the crime. He definitely would take care of this immigration
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean that's kind of
The mayor cut our budgets to take care of them.
yeah.
So your life is on the line.
Well, he also cut all sorts of programs for
Right.
for lower income
For the
homeless
kids.
for
In the
the
black community,
the-
actually.
not soup kitchens, the what do they call this, the food pantries, the
Pantries, the food pantries.
food pantries. All of that got cut
Mm-hmm.
for the migrants, and then to top that off, what really adds insult to injury is wait,
Yeah.
the
right.
migrants come here and they tell them they don't want to stay there.
Mhm.
They want to go into the hotel.
There you
Then
go.
they put them in a hotel. When they get tired of the hotel, they trash it. They leave it, and they go to this hotel was right in the heart of Manhattan. It was $400 a night.
40 nights and
Yeah, they leave the hotel.
You
Okay,
try to spend the night there.
it's $400 a night. Anyway, so they leave the hotel, go to Brooklyn, and then they realize that it sucks. So they try to go back to the hotel, and the hotel won't let them back in. And what do? They protest outside. I mean, if that's not freaking nerve, man, that's not.
Because they dedicate to them, they bow to them, they give them everything they want.
They wouldn't understand the term "ask not what your country can do for you." They wouldn't understand the logic behind that.
Mm-hmm.
It does, because all they want is the country to do for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's really why they're here. They're not here because they want to. Your parents, my grandparents,
That's so true.
my grandparents came here not to get
Free things.
no, not to get medical care, not to get like
Free
welfare,
food,
not to
right.
get like food food stamps, not to get ABT cards, not to. They didn't come here for that. Okay, they came here to try to
work
make a
and
life.
make a living.
They didn't.
Right way.
They didn't ask for anything. They just came and did and lived and produced. That's not what
you're
they're
supposed
doing.
to do.
That's what people who come here the right way do. Okay, so before you go, oh, he's a racist. He's saying it. No, I'm not a racist. But if you're willing to outskirt the law to get in here, okay, that's taking a shortcut.
That's right.
That tells me right away about your personality, that you would take a shortcut to get. It tells me that no matter what you want, you don't really care about how to get it as long as you get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I don't know if I really want people like that in my country. Okay, send your cousin who wants to create a business and hire, other whatever people. I don't even care who he hires, but
Right.
I don't need somebody who's coming here to figure out a way to swindle people. Okay,
That's what they do. Yes.
let me see how many names I can come up with fake Social Security cards so I get checks under these different names.
Is there anybody out there watching?
Oh,
I'm sure your grandparents came and worked and did something, right? See? That's how it works, people.
I can't remember the guy's name, but Black Lives Matter, one of
Oh,
the
yes.
founders.
He's,
Is-
yeah, I know. I
Go
saw him
ahead,
this
take
morning.
it.
I can't
Take
think of
it.
his name.
Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
I'll tell you in 1 minute. Yeah, you
He-
tell him what happened.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
This guy, you know, he's a leader of the Black Lives Matter, but he preaches, he talks, you know, okay. But good stuff. He's not the ones that stole the money and bought millions of houses, you know, a house for millions of dollars and stuff. This guy is a Democrat, but he is switching over to Trump. He's telling everybody in his community, so he's preaching, he's telling everybody that Trump is the man for the African Americans and for, you know, for the country. And he even said, under Biden, you know, everything dropped. Under Trump, unemployment dropped, they were working, they were getting everything. So this guy here, forgot his name, but yeah, right?
Wait, I gotta read this. The guy's name is Mark Fisher.
Mark Fisher.
Okay, so listen to this. So now you know that they're gonna have to try to whitewash this, pardon the expression, somehow, right? So listen to the headline. I got a few headlines here I could read you.
This guy is good.
Okay, so this one is
Common
man identified as co-founding Black Lives Matter Rhode Island endorses Trump. Local Black Lives Matter groups push back. Okay, so now before we even go any further, I want to clarify something. The original founding members of Black Lives Matter went broke. They got $90 million. $90 million. I'm doing a little Joe Biden there. $90 million. Okay, $90 million. And, you know, we're talking about when money was money. Okay, not now. Not where 90 million is probably like 60 million. But this was when 90 was 90. Right now they're in a deficit of $9 million. So they're minus 10% of what they started with. And what do they have to show for it? Well, personally, not under the Black Lives Matter Corporation, personally, the Black Lives Matter founder has 4 real estate investments totaling $8 or $9 million. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They did a little bit of a backtrack into their accounts. They did an audit into their accounts, and they found out that she was also paying her brother $1.4 million as a security guard, and something else. There was another whatever job she gave them. By the time all was said and done, everybody around her was getting rich, and the money was just sieving out, and that's kind of what happened. So she lost $90 million plus nine. Okay, and I just don't understand. So now what they're going to do, because this guy turns around and says that groups want to clarify that Mark Fisher doesn't speak for them and dispute his status. It's not just him. Take a look. Right. I tell you what. Look at the black vote for Trump now, and look at the black vote for Biden. Right. Look where it's at.
The Hispanic vote for Trump.
Look at it.
Look at it.
The African American has turned around now and said, you know what? We've voted Democrat long enough, and you've done nothing for us. Okay? What they should have done was just looked into history. And in history, if you look,
that's 50 years.
Democrats were the ones who wanted the KKK to be kept around. Democrats had Robert Byrd, who was, I believe, a grand wizard in the KKK.
Yeah, he's the leader.
Who was also Hillary's mentor. Okay, so this is absurd that the Republicans are viewed as the racist, as the anti-Semitics, as this. It's absurd. You can go all the way back to the Civil War. Right. You can go all the way back to the Civil War, mm-hmm. where you had Union and you had Confederate.
Right.
Confederate were Democrat, Union were Republican. Union wanted to end slavery, Democrat wanted to keep it. Confederate wanted to keep it. It's throughout history. It's no different. The only difference is the way they're doing it now. The way they do it now is,
you gotta look at your history, people.
They make you think they're on your side by giving you something. They give you just enough to get by,
mm-hmm.
just enough so that you can get by, and you go, oh, I'm doing okay, I'm getting by.
I mean, look what they're doing now.
We shouldn't be getting by.
Because you got the border open. Why? Because all these people that come in here will vote Democrat.
We should be thriving,
right?
And we were thriving under Trump. under Trump, the African American unemployment level was its
geez.
lowest in history.
Right.
The
Better
Latin American,
jobs.
lowest in history. Women, lowest in history. Pay was at an excel level. It was amazing. Okay, so that was a Republican presidency, and you saw what happened. Democrat walked in there, and look what happened. World War III just about. And right now, every time you go to the store, it's costing you $20 to $30 more. That's if you're a family. If you're not a family, it's costing you $10
Go
more.
fill up your car.
Go to fill up your car, it's costing you,
And not even that.
well,
About
to fill it
mortgage-
up.
How about mortgages? Rents?
Nobody can get a mortgage or a rent. First off,
Rents went up.
this isn't
My
me
rent
talking.
just went up.
I was just going to say, this isn't me talking. It's the Washington Post. The
Mhm.
Washington Post said that rural areas are expensive, suburban areas are expensive,
Mhm.
and urban areas are even more expensive. There is no cheap place to live.
Mhm. My landlord just raised my rent last month, November.
And honestly, I don't mean to simplify it.
And guess what? I'm moving in December here with him because I'm broke.
Yeah, that's it. I'm getting bunk beds. Anyway.
I got the top.
I'm getting Murphy bunk beds.
I got the top.
Yeah, you got it. They just fold out like that, you know? Anyway, I lost track of what I was going to say just there. Oh, my God. You kill me when you do that. That's sorry. Anyway, what were you saying?
The rents went up.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Good one. That's it. Okay.
Mortgages, you can't.
Right.
8% mortgage now.
And well, anyway, right now, to try to get an apartment just about anywhere,
Mhm.
okay,
Mhm.
is like expect to pay $300 to $400 more
Mhm.
than fair market value. Easily. That's like in a cheap
Right.
area.
Right.
Go $1,000 more in some areas.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, like go to certain parts.
but
of
it
the
all
world,
comes down to
right.
one thing. And again, I'm not trying to be simplified about it, but it comes down to one thing. The one thing that keeps things cheap is gas. Gas. If gas is cheap, everything is cheap. And the reason that everything's going to be cheaper, I shouldn't say it's cheap, but everything is going to be
Mhm.
cheaper. Because if it costs you less to get it to the place, it can be gotten there quicker. It can be gotten there because you can use more trucks, or you could use whatever you need to do. When gas is expensive and the truck driver goes from making, again, I'm not a truck driver, but let's say he's making, $4 a mile, okay, in 2019 or 2017. Let's go 2018, make it easier. So he's making $4 a mile in 2018. Well, things are going to be pretty cheap for us
Mhm.
because when he has to travel 1,000 miles, he just made $4,000. Okay, so that's great. Out of that comes his gas. Okay, so his gas might cost him $800 to $1,000. So now he's got $3,200 for that trip. That was a 3-day trip. He made $1,000 a day. Works perfect because now you also got to remember he's got insurance,
Right.
all of that to add in. So let's say $1,000 was all his expenses. He made $3,000. That's great. Now that was with diesel gas being at $1.50 a gallon. Diesel now is at $6. So he's now making almost nothing. 10, 20 cents a mile. 50 cents a mile. 80 cents a mile. Now he does that 1,000-mile trip. And what did he make? Think about this. What did he make? So if he made 10, he made 80 cents.
Mhm.
If he made 100, he made $8. Am I right about that? Yeah. Okay, so
All right.
right, if he makes a 1,000-mile trip, he made $80. Why would he do it for $80? Why would he go 3 days for $80? And again, even don't fuck with my math because I just smoked a joint. I'm a little bit buzzed, but I'm just trying to make a point here. He was making $3,000.
Right.
Now he's making $80. So what is he now going to do? Now he's that $80 don't even cover his insurance.
Nope.
So now he's got to hype up his prices.
Sure.
So he was charging the company $7 a mile, and $3 was going to this, and $4 was going to him at the $4, whatever. Now he's got to turn that to $21 a mile. That's where your money goes. It's all
Right.
fuel. Fuel
Yo.
heats up things. Fuel, energy.
He just said, between a Republican president and a Democrat president, look what happened. Plain and simple. I mean, look at your energy bills now. Look at everything. You don't even have to be home, right? And your bills are fucking sky. Hey, you can ask my kids, they'll tell you. They call me Mr. Con Ed. You know what? I live in the fucking dark, bro. I mean, I got lights on, but only way you're supposed to be. You kid my kids and tell you, hey, you know what? My bill is still high.
Oh, you're Mr. Vic.
Yeah,
Mr. Vic.
yeah, I don't have everything going, man. You know, like I don't keep lights on all day.
Kid leaves the light on, and he's like, you think, Mr. Wick's coming. You know,
Yeah,
like,
right?
you know,
But this is what happens. Everything is going up. Wait till next year.
yeah,
You think things will find out.
it's got to change. It's just got to change.
That's why you got to get out there and vote next year. But we got one more year of this, people.
All right, so listen up. We're going to get out of here for now. The next show we do is going to be a show. I guess, do you want to do the Rifleman or you want to do a movie?
Whatever. It don't matter. We'll think about it.
All right, I think we'll do the Rifleman.
Ralphman is a great show.
What I ask you
Every
though,
day.
yeah, what I ask you though is just stay with me for the first 4 episodes. By the 4th episode, you'll know what I mean. The first 2 or 3 episodes, they're good. They're really good, but they're a little slow. And, you know, you got to understand that it was kind of a trial thing. So now they have it to where they got it, and by the 4th episode, it's phenomenal.
Right.
And we'll have a great time watching it. We'll point out everything about, you know, how this guy's playing this character, but he played that one there. And we'll have a nice little, maybe we'll come up with a game if you can call out what his name was in other movies and shows or something.
Yeah, like you said, they got like one actor that plays 5 characters on the show, maybe more.
But the cool thing
Right?
about it
It
is,
is cool.
what the cool thing about it is, if you're, I guess, our age, a little bit older, you're going to recognize a lot of people who became really, really famous actors. Like there was a guy named Chet Akins. Okay, he's in it. He plays a few different parts. Warren Oates. Warren Oates, you would remember from being the sergeant in Stripes. Sergeant.
Stripes.
What was his name? Sergeant. I can't think of it now. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Right, Hooker. Sergeant Hooker. Right.
Right.
From Stripes. Then you had like Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper was in Easy Rider with Fonda, Peter Fonda, and he was in Blue Velvet. He's in it. He's really young. Trying to think who else is
There's
in
another
there.
guy that was in there. He's in the Monsters. He played Herman's boss.
Yeah, Mr. Gaiman. Yeah, that's right. He plays the photographer.
And he plays the
Goodberry
and the psychic.
Oh.
Too. And he plays the psychic.
Wow, that's some.
Right?
Oh, I'm sorry. And the other one we're going to do is the Beverly Hillbillies, and that's another one. You got to stay with me for the first like 2 episodes because it was again it was a test type of thing. But by the 3rd episode, it's phenomenal.
These are great shows.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
don't make them like they used to.
Yeah, like Beverly Hillbillies, if you don't know, it's about a hillbilly who shoots into the ground and strikes oil. So the government goes there to try to buy it from him, and they offer him like $25 million. So he turns around. He's got his cousin Pearl there, who actually understands money. He has no idea what money even is, because he turns around and Pearl goes, "How much did they offer you, Jed?" He goes, "Well, they offered me a new kind of money." So she goes, "What kind of money?" He goes, "Granny, what kind of money did they say that was?" She goes, "Millions. They called it millions of dollars." So, and then he turns around to Pearl. Pearl's like, you're standing there, and he's like, "You think I should leave the mountains?" She goes, "Jed, you should go to California." So he goes, "Why? Why would?" So she goes, "Well, you got possums running through the living room here. You got to stroke your fire. You got to pump the water. You got to go down to the creek and get your dinner." He goes, "Yeah, you're right. A man would be damn crazy to leave all of this. You always got like $25 million." Anyway, it's a really, really funny movie, a really funny show.
I know the stuff was. They came out in the 60s.
Yeah. It never really.
And everybody wanted to go to California.
Yeah.
But guess what? And
No
today,
more.
in 2023,
You know,
everybody's leaving California.
that's so sad because it really is a beautiful place. It's just,
But
you know,
that
it's
dumbass
like having-
living in Newsom.
it's like having a beautiful prison
Those
cell.
pieces
It's still a
crap.
prison cell. You can't go places. You can't do things.
Right.
You can't. Anyway, all right, we're out of here, people. Have a great day.
Enjoy. Happy December.
It was
Get
a
ready for
pleasure
Christmas. Be
coming
careful
back.
out there shopping for holidays.
We really missed you.
I'll tell you what I want, all right? Next week.
Later.
All right. Be